Okay, let's just jump right into this explainer. We're going to completely demystify this whole AI job apocalypse thing that everyone seems to be freaking out about, right? Today, we're looking past the panic headlines to see what the actual data tells us about this massive structural shift in white-collar work. If you've been watching the news, it literally feels like the whole foundation of office work is cracking. But is it really an apocalypse, or is it just a massive redesign of how we actually get stuff done? Let's figure it out. So here's our roadmap for today. First, the white-collar shock. Second, why jobs are being reshaped, not replaced. Third, the human advantage. Fourth, the new talent currency. And finally, becoming the human in the loop.
All right, section 1, the white-collar shock and what's really behind the 2026 layoffs.
For decades, we all kind of assumed cognitive work, your lawyers, accountants, consultants, was totally immune to automation. Well, scratch that. 30,700 global tech jobs were erased in literally just the first 2 months of 2026 alone. And here's the crazy part. This isn't happening because of some financial crash. Take Amazon, for example. They're cutting roughly 16,000 corporate roles, but they're doing this while reporting record revenues over $700 billion. Oh, and they're simultaneously planning to drop almost $200 billion on AI infrastructure. The contradiction is wild. Companies are slashing headcounts, but aggressively scaling their AI operating models. To really grasp the gravity of this, you have to listen to the leaders who are actually building this stuff. Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, is flat out warning that AI could wipe out up to 50% of entry-level white-collar roles in just 1 to 5 years. 50%! Why? Because these tools aren't just toys anymore. They're producing professional-grade output. They are rapidly squashing the need for humans to do basic, routine, analytical tasks. We're talking about AI systems coding, testing, and deploying software in minutes. Stuff that used to be billed by the hour is now happening instantly. Moving on to Section 2, reshaped, not replaced. Let's look at the microeconomic reality. Okay, so Boston Consulting Group put together this highly detailed microeconomic framework, and the reality is actually not mass unemployment. It's a massive redesign. When BCG modeled the U.S. labor market, they found that over the next few years, a little over half the workforce, like 50 to 55%, will have their roles fundamentally reshaped by AI. But a much smaller slice, only 10 to 15%, faces true elimination. The rest have limited exposure, mostly because their jobs need, deep interpersonal interaction or a physical presence. So task automation does not automatically equal job loss. It just means the expectations for how you work and what you produce are changing radically. So the absolutely crucial thing you need to figure out right now is how your specific job is going to change. Are you facing substitution or augmentation? Here's the difference. In a substitution scenario, the demand for your output is capped. Take a call center rep. There are only so many customer calls in a given day, right? If AI makes handling those faster, the company simply needs fewer reps. But in an augmentation scenario, demand is expandable. Think about a software engineer. The world basically has an infinite need for new software. So when AI makes that engineer super productive, it lowers development costs, which actually fuels more output and innovation. AI assists the human, and the overall headcount might actually stay stable or even grow. Breaking down BCG's data a bit further, we see exactly how different fields get hit. At the top, you've got amplified roles, representing about 5% of jobs, like software engineers or senior lawyers. AI augments their work, demand expands, headcount grows. Awesome. Then rebalanced roles at 14%, like marketing. The routine stuff drops off, but the high-level strategy work blows up. Divergent roles, around 12%, like insurance sales, are tricky. It creates this weird tension where entry-level tasks get substituted, but senior relationship roles grow. And finally, 12% are fully substituted, like certain financial analysts, where that cap demand literally means net job losses. The big takeaway here? Entry-level structured tasks are incredibly exposed across the board, but high-level contextual work is absolutely sticking around. Which brings us perfectly to Section 3. The human advantage, or, as I like to call it, the revenge of the liberal arts. For years, we've had it pounded into our heads that STEM is the only safe career path. But because AI now handles all those rules-based technical tasks instantly, employers are having this massive light bulb moment. They are actively rediscovering that the absolute hardest problems in business are actually human ones. McKinsey's CEO Bob Sternsfels hit the nail on the head. He noted that candidates with liberal arts degrees have more truly novel ways of thinking. Because, let's be real, AI is terrible at making discontinuous leaps in logic. It desperately needs a human to do that.
And suddenly, non-technical, humanities-based problem solvers are insanely valuable.
These highly prized soft skills? This is your true human advantage. Look, AI can confidently generate a really smart-sounding answer, for sure. But it takes a critically thinking human to look at that and say, wait, is this actually right? Or does this align with our goals? Or is this data based on a totally flawed assumption? AI handles the content, but humans communicate the context. AI doesn't understand ethics. It doesn't have emotional intelligence or, true original creativity. Knowing how to learn and how to critically analyze a messy problem, that is your ultimate job insurance in an automated world. All right, Section 4. The new talent currency, moving way beyond the traditional degree. This structural shift completely shatters how we historically prove we have these skills. Just think about this for a second. If an AI writes the essay and easily passes the exam, what does a university degree actually certify anymore? Back in the day, a college term paper forced you to organize your thoughts, dig into research, build an argument, and weigh contradictory facts. It literally forced you to think. But since large language models can just bypass all that heavy mental lifting and spit out an A-plus paper in seconds, the legacy university degree is no longer a reliable measuring stick for a candidate's practical, critical thinking skills. The old system's kind of broken. And because those massive traditional education systems are struggling to keep up with how fast tech is moving, employers in 2026 are completely pivoting their hiring requirements. They are moving away from broad, theoretical degrees that take years to finish, and they're leaning heavily into micro-credentials. We're talking short, 5 to 40-hour targeted programs that are constantly updated for what the industry actually needs right now. They give you these verifiable digital badges that literally prove day one readiness for specific competencies. Basically, this is the modern talent currency you absolutely need to stand out. Let's wrap it up with Section 5, the human in the loop and surviving the automation era. All of this data gives us a really clear blueprint for the future of your career. We are completely transitioning away from this old idea of a job for life into a reality where you have to embrace learning for life. Listen, white-collar work isn't ending, it's graduating. It's evolving into this entirely new professional class of critical thinkers who supervise, refine, and direct these AI systems instead of trying to compete against them. The most successful worker of the future uses AI as a thinking partner. You are the editor, the strategist, the ethical check, and the final decision maker. You are the essential human in the loop. So, I want you to look really closely at your own daily workflow. Instead of panicking over what AI can do, ask yourself this. As AI completely automates the routine stuff, how are you going to upskill? How will you elevate your uniquely human skills to ensure you become that absolutely indispensable human in the loop?